Ziggy,
Cope.
we got a good episode with a friend of ours, a person we really have grown to like and love and enjoy on our podcast here. Please allow me to introduce myself. And we're talking to our friend Sam Kennedy, class of 16. Yeah, we're big fans of hers. We've known her for 7 or 8 years now, I guess, right?
Yep.
Maybe a little longer. And she's one of the initial members on the Friends of Red Devil Basketball board.
Yep.
And we've just become really close with her over the past couple of years and think very highly of her.
And if you enjoy Alumni Hoops Weekend this year and over the last couple of years, it's because of Sam. She does a lot of the legwork getting that weekend going. So that's one of the reasons why we like her.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's anything that you like, it's probably because Sam was involved. If there's anything that annoys you, it's probably because I was involved. So, Ziggy, she's a classic Division III player. Shows up in the record book one time, but has like very nice stats. Looks like a 3-year starter.
Yep.
And went through a coaching change. And I think she's the classic example of what we see. Just a really, really, really good basketball player, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited for this one because there are hundreds of people like this, right? Sam, like you said, was close to a 3-year starter, we think, looking at her stats. She got better every year, right? 4-something points her sophomore year, 6-something points her junior year, 8.9 points her senior year. You know, that's a good season, right? We played with a lot of guys who scored 7 or 8 points, right?
Yeah.
You're a good player. You're a good rotation player if you're putting in 8 points a game. And she was a captain. Just a solid college career, and yet not at that Hall of Fame level, right? But like we keep saying, that's not what this podcast is about. We want to hear everyone's story. So I'm really excited to talk to her.
Me too, because I don't, like, if she's told us a lot of her hoop story, it's been at the Gingerbread Man at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m., I should say, and I'm not so sure. I'm looking forward to covering some of the same ground again. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, we nodded nicely, but we didn't really retain much. So,
no.
Right.
And as you know, you like to say, we don't. This podcast is not about 1,000-point scorers or team MVPs or stuff like that. It's about the people that we know that played.
Look, I mean, you know, maybe more than anybody how hard it is to score 1,000 points, right?
This seems like the beginning of our new segment, Make Fun of Cope. Go ahead.
Yes.
Please continue.
Yes.
I can't wait to start the segment with her and the start Make Fun of Ziggy. Because Ziggy, by my count, she probably tripled or quadrupled your scoring output. I'm going to have to take
Not quite quadrupled, but it's close. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't wait to talk to her. Let's go to Sam and let's get her story. Let's introduce Sam Kennedy.
Welcome, Sam Kennedy. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, guys. I'm really excited.
I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, the great Sam Kennedy is how we typically describe her when she's not around.
That's right. And I'm particularly excited for this, not only because we love hanging out with you and you're part of the FRDB board, but as I said to Cope in the intro, we've been talking to some all-time greats, some Hall of Famers, right? But we really want to make this podcast about everybody. And you had a really, really solid career, right? 3-year starter, we think. You got better every year. Your team got better every year. And there were a lot of people out there who had a career like yours, right? And so I think it's great to get started with that and interview you. So thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
You win a lot of games with people like Sam Kennedy.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's start with that
part. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's start with that, Sam. We typically start out chronologically. When did you start playing basketball? Do you remember?
Yeah, I didn't start when I was 3 years old with the basketball. I played soccer from the beginning, and then my friends in school in middle school were like, "Why don't you come try out for basketball?" and I tried out for the team in seventh grade. Never really played before, and I made the team. And so from that, it was mostly social because my soccer friends were on the basketball team,
Yeah.
and I made the team and I liked it, and I just kept going back every year. And then eventually it eclipsed soccer for me. I eventually dropped soccer, but yeah, no, it was, I think, relatively late when you like are talking to people that maybe played in college or maybe not, but yeah, seventh grade.
And when would you say if you started that late and you basically just played because you were already an athlete, right? You played soccer, you were athletic, you hung out with other athletes. When would you say you started to work on skill training in basketball?
I mean, I I loved practice, and so we got a hoop in the driveway. We'd shoot around. My dad played basketball, so he was happy that I started to play. And so I think it was less pulling teeth once I was on the team and we could shoot around together. But to be fair, I didn't really do anything extra outside of practices. I wasn't dribbling in the in the driveway too much or getting up extra shots. Really, it was just I was there with my friends hanging out, and we were good, and so that helped. And I learned a lot. I had some good coaches, and I played with a lot of good girls too. So I think I just tagged along and really fell in love with it.
Well, let's start there as well. Where did you grow up? Tell me where you grew up, where you went to high school.
I went to Chatham High School, just the public school. And the basketball program was very good. It always had been. There were girls that went on to play. A couple girls went D1, but D3 as well. And my freshman year, they had a really strong senior class. So freshman year, I made the JV team. And the seniors like did amazing. They always did states. We always made the county tournament, things like that. And then my sophomore year, I made varsity and I was starting varsity, and I started for the rest of the years. And I played with a girl, her name's Amanda Burnson. She ended up playing at Princeton. She was my year. She scored 2,000 points in high school. So I did a lot of passing. I knew a lot of plays. And my role had always been like defend the best player on the other team.
Okay.
So that was kind of my role in high school, and then it honestly became my role again through college as well. So, but yeah, I played with a lot of good people, and our program was very strong in high school.
And you're 5'7", is that right, Sam?
Yeah, 5'8" in basketball shoes. Yeah, on the
Okay.
roster.
So were you
Yeah.
always tall for your age? And did that affect where you were put on the basketball court and what position you played?
I think I was always a guard. In high school, there were taller girls, so there was no post action for me there. Going to Dickinson, I think our average height for most of the years were like 5'10", so we were all pretty much the same height. But yeah, no, I played guard, um, and I did wasn't the best dribbler, so I was the shooter sometimes when I got the ball. But yeah, couldn't be a point guard, so definitely like a 2 or a 3 in a lot of the plays.
I like the idea that Sam Kennedy is like a 3 and D. Doesn't really dribble much, but like defends everybody and shoots jump shots.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
and honestly, like I know the plays back and front. I know everyone's positions where they have to be. So like out there on the court, I'm bossing people around. So it's very, you know, especially through high school because we were playing with some girls that they played lacrosse, they played soccer, basketball wasn't their number one sport. And, there were running out of bounds plays, and it's like, oh, what do I do? And so it's just organizing everyone in a split second was kind of also my role.
I'm going to compliment you, Sam, though. Like you said you didn't start playing hoop until seventh grade. You're at a program that has very good teams. You played JV as a ninth grader and start as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Whatever you were doing things right because that's like a 3-year starter in high school at a really good program is pretty impressive. Did you play AAU and all that stuff?
I did. I think New Jersey, especially when I don't know what other states were doing, but when I was in high school, AAU was pretty intense. I played an AAU team, but I didn't choose the most intense one. There were people that took it a lot more serious, and I just, again, did the fun team with my friends, and played outside of like the high school season. But I was doing it for fun. I wasn't really doing it, to be recruited to the best school or anything like that, or to try to be better. It was mostly to stay in shape between basketball seasons. But yeah.
So when did the recruiting path start for you? When did you first realize, hey, I might be able to play in college? When did you start? When did you first hear from a college coach?
I don't remember which it was, but I think going into senior year of high school, I was playing around with the idea of maybe I could play in college, and my coach in high school was very supportive. Again, highlight tapes together, but I didn't know if I wanted to go to school to play basketball or not. So I kind of applied to all different types of schools I'd play at, schools I wouldn't play at. Um, I want to say Dickinson was the first school. I don't know if that's true, but the coach was like pretty persistent. She would come to high school games and things like that. And so I just remember being recruited heavily by the Dickinson coach. And, I liked the attention, I guess, and I had a good visit. And so Dickinson was always in the back of my mind going through the year.
Any other Centennial schools interested in you?
No, the only other overnight I did was Washington and Lee down in Virginia, I believe. But not in the Centennial Conference.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm not done with you in like middle school and high school yet.
Okay.
So you're growing up in New Jersey, and this is like 2009, 10, I guess, probably, right?
Yep.
Did you have a hoops hero? Was there a player you loved watching? Was there a team you loved, like Knicks, Nets? Like, were you a Vivian Stringer at Rutgers fan? Like who did you have anybody that you followed as a kid?
Not really. Nothing that really comes to mind. I think in middle school on that seventh grade team, we would go and watch the varsity high school team, and they were always very good. And so I always looked up to those girls. And so I think it wasn't really on my radar, like the WNBA and like all those other teams like that. It was just, we're playing basketball in town, and these are the good girls in town, and they would run our camps during the summer and that kind of relationship. And so that was kind of the motivation to be like, oh, I could be them one day, kind of.
Ziggy's thrilled we're talking New Jersey hoop. He's just thrilled. Who were your rivals? Like in high school, did you have one? Did you guys have a?
Yeah, Hanover Park comes to mind. Milburn, we always played. But yeah, the Morris County tournament that we would play in for counties, like, was always competitive. Morris Catholic, yeah, I thought it was very, very competitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that your freshman year, there had some good seniors, and that was a good team. So how did your teams do sophomore through senior year?
We were also, the expectation was that we were going to the county tournament finals. We have they say this, the Chatham High School, from what I believe, has yet to win the counties. We always get to the final game and haven't won. But then from there, going to states, the farthest we went in states was actually my sophomore year, I believe. But I'll admit, I don't have basketball stats and games and things like that memorized like a lot of people do. But, going to counties and states was the expectation in high school, and we did that. So
the only conclusion Ziggy, I can come up with about Morris County with Chatham never winning it is that it's clearly fixed. I mean, that's the only way. That's the only thing you can. Because there's no way Sam Kennedy doesn't win one of those if she's in them. It's clearly fixed. That's the only conclusion we can come to. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It's like a cursed gym that we always play in. I don't know what it is, but it's just we could never do it.
Fixed. That's it.
Crazy.
All right, so your teams are good. You guys go to states. You don't live and die with your team statistics. You have better things to think about, which is
Well,
probably.
they weren't that high. They were nothing to brag about, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about your team. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're being recruited by Dickinson, and you Washington and Lee. Anybody else that you remember that's calling you or sending you messages or coming to your games?
Um, for some reason, Carnegie Mellon was also randomly in my head as a D3 option. But yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't really Dickinson. I liked the school the most, so I think that's also why, in my memory, it seems like it might have been the only option it could have been. I don't really
Did
remember.
you know what you wanted to do back then? Like, were you of the mindset that you knew what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh, absolutely not. No, no. I loved school. Like I loved school. I did well. I liked math and science. So I knew I'd kind of end up in that realm. But what I'm doing now, I didn't even really know it existed until I was in grad school, honestly. So I, I just no.
That's so
Classic
common.
example.
Yeah.
I tell all my mentees and all the students that reach out to me, I say, I didn't even know that the job I've had for the last 25 years existed. Right? It's
Yeah.
very common.
Yeah, it really is. And you said something there, Sam. You said you like the. I think you said you like the campus. I think that's if I memory serves me. Was there something about it that you liked? Because I've not been to Washington and Lee or Carnegie Mellon, I don't think, but those are great schools. I mean, was there something that you remember that made you think that?
I liked how the campus didn't feel too big. And I also had a very positive overnight at Dickinson, and connecting with the girls. So every time I visited, it was a positive experience. And Dickinson is 3 hours from home from Chatham. And so I just wanted it to, it felt like another place like home. It felt comfortable and I could see myself being successful there. It wasn't too big, honestly. I felt like I would get lost at a big school. And so it just felt comfortable and it felt right, and it just never had a negative feeling about it. So I always kept coming back to it.
And I like to ask this question: how do you feel about the Klein Center?
Well, so the client, the gym itself was interesting, watching the track team run around you, like sitting at practice, and the pole vault is, it's just crazy in there.
Yeah.
I was there before they renovated the front part of the Klein, and so when they added that new shiny part with the gym and all that, that was exciting. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was kind of on par with the other gyms I had seen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a strange looking building.
Yeah.
Let's be
Oh, I
realistic.
love the Klein.
I'm not saying I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a strange looking building.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
So good high school program. Did you get good crowds?
Yeah. Big student sections. Both the men's and women's, well, girls and boys, high school teams, were pretty good. So, yeah. And when we would go to the different states, like we'd have a crowd that would follow us. Also, a lot of parents would go, and that's fine. And, the seventh graders would come and watch us as well. But hey, no, it felt like the gym, when we were playing in good games that were competitive, you had the crowd behind you.
So how did that feel then to go to Division III? And we all know that the crowds can be sparse, right? Particularly in January over break, etc. So I ask everyone this who played at high schools where you get pretty healthy crowds. How did you deal with that? How would that feel like? Because here you are playing college, which was absolutely a higher level, right, of competition. Yet the crowd doesn't match up.
Yeah, I think at Dickinson, my freshman, sophomore, a little bit of my junior year, it was pretty quiet. Honestly, you get used to it pretty fast. You kind of have to, right? So, but yeah, by senior year, we were drawing a decent crowd, and it's fun, more fun to play when you're playing for a crowd, I think.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a decent team your senior year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
where did you live? You show up as a first year. Where do you live?
I was in Adams over on Morgan Field. I love being over there.
What floor?
It must have been second floor. It was
Yeah.
like right, yeah, up a level.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
was. Yeah, it's a great building. It really is. The whole campus obviously is pretty darn cool. So you hit campus. You said you had a visit at to Dickinson. Who did your stay over with you? Was it a stay over or was it just a day visit?
I stayed over. Yeah, I stayed over with it was Sarah Phillips, who was a year ahead of
Mm-hmm.
me. And went to class with her, hung out with her friends, hung out with the basketball team. Um, and yeah, I mean, Sarah is a great teammate, so it was a great time.
Good. That's part of the great visit to Dickinson that hopefully you get. So you hit campus. You're living in Adams. You hit campus, and how did you know anybody other than Sarah on the team? Was there anybody that you played against in high school, or that you were, or were you meeting everybody at your recruiting visit and there?
I was meeting everyone there. Now that I think of it, one of the seniors on from high school when I was a freshman, one of the seniors went on to Dickinson and played soccer there. So I think it wasn't the first time I had heard of Dickinson, but in terms of basketball, I didn't know anyone on the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about your 4-year journey at Dickinson. We know you went through a coaching change. We've talked to some other people. You played for 2 coaches, 2 years for the first, 2 years for the second. But tell us a little bit about your path as a player. We talked a little bit about it in the intro, but also your path as a team, because we know it culminated that senior year and you had a good team. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So kind of similar to high school, my freshman year, the senior class was very strong. They had Bridget and Dana, Lindsay. They were Belma. Like they had so many, Kelsey. They were really, really strong players. And so my freshman year, I was able to watch them, and they were, they led the team well. Our record wasn't great, but the way that they ran the team was amazing. Then sophomore year, those seniors left, and we had no seniors. So we went from a very old team to a very young team. And that my sophomore year, I think record wise was our worst year. We won 1 conference game maybe and 5 overall. So it's kind of hard to keep going when you're losing, but looking back on it now, I had such a positive experience that I kind of forget what we went through.
Sam, were you a captain your sophomore year?
I was a captain my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah.
We weren't sure. We couldn't tell from the records if you were all 3 years. We could have assumed you were, knowing you a little bit, but that is so uncommon, right?
Yeah. I don't know. To brag a little bit, I feel like that's my role on the team, even though it might not show up in these record books and stuff. Like, I took on a leadership role, especially that sophomore year with no seniors. There were 3 juniors, if I remember correctly. So, kind of just stepping up into the leadership role on and off the court, and got recognized by being a captain. And so that just, yeah.
Yeah, we had Meg Shelley Dapp on, and she too was a 3-year captain. I asked her how her captaincy evolved over those 3 years, right? Because unlike some of us that were just a captain for 1 year, meaning 4 months, we couldn't really grow in the position, frankly. You had the chance to grow in that position. So how did you change your approach and what you did between your sophomore year and your senior year?
Yeah, so I think, like you said, I had 2 coaches, and we also had a decent amount of turnover or girls leaving, between my freshman year and senior year. So it was kind of to have some consistency and some not rules, but like morals and culture of the team that can be held through all of those changes was important. You know, we show up on time, we show up prepared, we show up for each other, like those types of things through all of the like hard times that we went through as a team. You know, and I think by senior year that the culture we had on that team was awesome. We were playing really well, which was awesome. And it felt like the team, we were all friends, right? Like we were all in a good place. And so I think leadership wise, I just wanted that to happen. Because I think in those, you know, sophomore year, there was tension, you know, from all these external factors, which might have impacted the team a little bit. But it was important to like, come on, let's get our culture going, and we can, you know, brave all these hardships that might happen. Like keep what we can, do what we can do. So
it's funny. Knowing you a little bit, Sam, I'm not surprised by what you just described, but I'm like, how are you not a 4-year captain? If you're thinking like that, like I'm sort of laughing at this going, man, you were very thoughtful about this. Did Coach Henry ask you to step in to be a leader, or were you establishing yourself as a leader? Were you like that in high school?
No, I mean, I was and still kind of am pretty shy. So like, I think my leadership is more on like the one-on-one level. In terms of sophomore year with Coach Henry, I think there were a couple of us. It was me and the juniors, the 2 juniors. So there were 4 captains, right? So it wasn't like I was leading this whole team. This whole team. It was a team effort in that way. But yeah, I don't know. I think it wasn't something I had ever gone after, but the coach kind of assigned to me. Even when we got a new coach junior year, that one might have gone to a vote, if I remember correctly, or you know, some type of say from the team. I'm sure coach had final say, but yeah, it was.
I mean, you were successful, right, as a leader. I mean, you mentioned your sophomore year, you won 5 games. Your junior year, you won 7, right? And then your senior year, you go 16-10. You make the Centennial Finals. So you brought the team out, right? And your leadership, obviously, there's players involved, but like you did it. Right? Yeah. You went through a tough period, and like, you know, the men's team right now is going through a very tough period. And I have a mentee who's a junior, and I keep telling him like, you can get out of this, right? Who knows what you could do this season, but also between your junior and senior year, right? You got to find ways to come out of it.
Well, Sam, how many so you guys had a great senior class, and then a bunch, they all graduate, and there's a couple of juniors. But how many freshmen or first years came in with you? How many were in your class to start? And then how many did you end with?
We started with 11 and we ended with 2. So it was,
sounds pretty standard. Yeah.
yeah, it was me and Rachel Cisco were the 2 that made it all 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to play 4 years of Division III basketball. Mm-hmm. It's hard to especially do it if you're not winning 15, 16 games a year. It's just hard. Like, it's really easy to say, I'm just going to focus on my studies. And I have a lot of admiration for people who tough through it and do play, and people like you, and then you turn it around and you re-energize that program. And I have a lot of respect for that. I'm being sincere. Right, Ziggy? I see you nodding. We know what that's like.
Yeah, that's huge, right? I mean, those were 2 tough years, right? You're captain both years. You're obviously getting new players, but you brought them out of it, right? And to go 16-10 your senior year and turn the program around, because I think they were good again the next year, and go to the Centennial Finals, that's quite an accomplishment. So
yeah, going into playoff senior year was like icing on the cake for me. After not even being close at all the earlier years, it was crazy.
So, Sam, what do you attribute that team? I mean, you guys more than doubled your wins from your junior to your senior year. And you talked a little bit about the chemistry. Like, if you're all friends, I don't know what it's like in hockey or baseball. I don't in basketball, you don't have to all be friends, but you all have to be close. And it sounds like you had that. What do you attribute winning to that? What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, so I think I don't, we are all friends, yes, but there was like, the normal team dynamic. So it wasn't like kumbaya that whole year. But I think people really just bought in. I had to go back and look at the record from that senior year, but going into break, we were, let me see, let me not get it wrong. We were 2-4, I think, going into winter break in the conference. And then we came back, we lost the first game back, and then we went on a 7-game win streak. We beat like the top of the conference that we never did before. We bought in. I remember that was Coach Bixby my senior year. Her locker room, like pregame speeches, it was motivational speeches. I had got goosebumps. We were amped to play. Everyone just kind of like bought in, and we were winning and we were having fun, and it just like that helps a lot. And then but because we did so well, like coming back from break, then we could see like, oh, we might be able to make playoffs, and like that added motivation, just like, come on, we can do this, type of camaraderie kind of clicked.
Were you surprised? You're coming back from Christmas break. You're 2-4 in conference. Did you feel like we're this close, or were you surprised when you guys go on this run? I mean, that's a run in January. Like, that's a conference run you go on. Were you surprised by that?
Well, I'm looking at my notes again. Our first game back was Muhlenberg. In my 4 years at Dickinson, I never beat Muhlenberg. And so we actually came back and lost one. And then we came back and won one game, and then we won the next game. And then, so it's like, wait, we're building wins here. So it was kind of slow. And then it was, then it became impactful, right? Like we kind of turned the season around.
Look, it's hard to win 7 in a row, 8 in a row in January and February, right? I mean, you come back from break, you're back for 3.5 weeks alone. There's no one in the Klein, right? I mean, Cope's senior year, we did the same thing. We won 8 in a row. That's tough, and that's commendable.
In a very good conference, you guys played. Yep. We didn't play in the Centennial, but you guys played in the Centennial. That's a very good women's basketball conference. And you can't just roll into places and people fold up for you. That just doesn't happen too much. Right. So that's a hard run to do in conference.
Yeah, I mean, Cope, just use Saturday's men's basketball game, right? I mean, Dickinson's men's basketball is struggling, right? They're 2-4, whatever, and in comes F&M, who's 15-2, right? And to the Klein, and the men's basketball only loses by 2 or 3 points, right? Every game in that conference is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, I hate switching from basketball, but I would just make this 100% just talk hoop the whole time, and I'm fighting that. I'm fighting that urge. What were you majoring in at this point? You said math. You were interested in chemistry. Like, what were you majoring in?
Yeah, I was a biochem major and a math minor. So exactly those things.
Yeah. And why is one a biochem major? Like, what did you think you wanted to do, and are you doing it now?
No, I mean, I liked the science part of it. I liked the labs. I liked all the lectures. And I knew that I did not want to go to med school, right? So I'm sitting in all of these classes with these kids that are going to med school, nursing, PA, all this stuff. And it's like, well, what am I going to do? And so I started to look at grad programs because I didn't feel like I could get a job right out of school, me personally. I didn't really do any internships over the summers. I didn't have any networking connections. So for me, the answer was more school. And so I thought about going to pharmacy school. That ended quickly. I knew I couldn't get through that program. I can't get a flu shot. So then I found... So then I found the program that I ended up doing, which was a Master's of Public Health at BU University. They had a department called biostatistics. So it was basically my major and minor combined. So it was the numbers of, that. So I had applied to that program. I had gotten into that program. And then after Dickinson, I was up in Boston doing that.
Yeah, you just lost Cope when you said biostatistics, but that's fine.
I'm
we'll
like,
back.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I should not have gone off of basketball. Now my hair's starting to hurt. Damn it!
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, let's shout out. I mean, you can tell she's a quant because she did her own stats research prior to this podcast. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
This is why we love her, but this is why she's still a bit of a mystery to me because I don't understand why somebody would do that. What she just talked about.
So, how long a program was that? How many years?
Yeah, it was a 2-year master's program.
Okay.
And then after that, I got a job at a clinical research organization. I worked there for a couple years, and now I'm working at a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Doing what for them?
I'm a programmer, so they run clinical trials, and I help analyze the data from that the trials that they run.
She is such a quant, Ziggy. No wonder.
And what are you coding? Are you coding Python? What's your language?
SAS is my main one.
That's old school. That's what I've been using for 30 years. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know any other languages. There's a big push to learn others, but I'm kind of stubborn, so I haven't taught myself any other ones yet.
Can we bring it back? No. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about right now.
Yeah. And well, that's great. And you're in Boston area, is that right?
Yep, in Boston.
Yeah. So, Sam, can I ask you a little bit about Friends of Red Devil basketball? Because you've been Ziegler and I talk about this a lot, and a lot of the whole thing started with a bunch of the men's players, alums, and it sort of grew, and then we made sure we tried to include all of the women that we knew who played hoop, right? And you guys came in your group, and you guys have been my absolute favorite part of the Friends of Red Devil basketball. I mean, it's the absolute best is what you guys have brought to this group when we got formal about it in 17 or 18, Ziggy, whenever it was. But did you, what made you want to get involved in the first place? Your team was close, I know. Was it just an extension of that?
Yeah, I think I had a positive experience through Dickinson for a variety of reasons. And I loved the basketball team. I loved the girls that were on it when I was there. And I came back for alumni weekend, right after I graduated. And, it was to see my old teammates at first while they were still playing. And then once they graduated, it was an excuse for our group to see each other once a year. And so it was kind of just to maintain what had happened, like senior year, And so I know that my experience, it might not be what everyone has, but I think through Friends of Red Devil basketball, I come back and I participate because I want people that if their experience wasn't lightning in a bottle at Dickinson, they can still come back for Alumni Hoops weekend and meet people that they didn't play with and still have a great time and make more memories in that way, So it started because I had a positive experience, but I think the weekend has grown into, it's for everyone, right? So, that's why, I guess.
Oh, go ahead, Ziggy.
So that's a great plug for the organization, Cope. Well done.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't intentional, but she said, you're such an integral part of this group, Sam, and you are one of my favorite parts of the Friends of Red Devil basketball fund. You are Friends of Red Devil basketball. You and what you represent. I just think your crew has brought so much more fun and energy and a different perspective. And in retrospect, we should have called it Hoops Homecoming, right? Like I sit here and go, like, because that's what it is, right? You go to homecoming to see your teammates, your friends, and maybe meet some new people. And it's Alumni Hoops Weekend, and we love it. Partly because I get to see Ziggy and my teammates and you guys. I'm not saying this is a plug. I'm just saying it because I'm so thrilled about this. What you guys do for the group.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been a great addition for sure. Yep, and they bring energy and they bring people back, which is important, and it's fun.
Yeah, and I think even the retention of the like, I feel like between my year and the graduates, like people come back, and I know that we might have some missing years older than me. We would love to find them, but it's just, we want anyone there that wants to be back. And so, yeah, we'll see. Our numbers have been really good the last couple of years. I know this is a plug. I almost wore my Alumni Hoops Weekend t-shirt, but it was a little too cheesy for that. But
you say this all the time, Sam, but we want to get over that 100, right? We've been in the mid-80s the last couple of years. We want to hit 100. So
yeah. When Sam, can I go back to hoop for a second? What's if you look back and you have one memory that you just really prioritize on the court, in a bus, in a locker room, is there something you point back on? Boy, that was on the court or related to basketball. That was my favorite moment. Do you have one?
Maybe not a moment, but my senior year, I lived with Rachel Sisko, the other senior, at a house basically across the street from the Klein. And I just felt like it was an open door policy. Anyone from the team would come over at any time. We'd roll over into practice. During winter break, those were always my favorite. We would be cooking dinners in our, in the table that we play beer pong on. We'd have dinner at over winter break. Like, it was, that house to me is so special, and it has a lot of memories. And so when I think of back on that, it's that house that we lived in. It was definitely a lot of memories in that house.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Can I ask Sam a beer pong question?
Oh no.
Because Sam, if you look over my shoulder, you'll see back-to-back Sigma Chi beer pong champions. Did you guys play with paddles or just all throwing? How'd you play? What was your game?
All throwing. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we mix it. Yeah. 21 cup. Yeah.
That's a generational difference. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, let me ask my question. I ask everybody this question.
Okay.
So what experience did you have playing hoop for Dickinson, again, on the floor, in the locker room, or over at that special house that you just mentioned? What experience did you have that you think best prepared you for something that you're facing or have faced in your professional life?
I think that, wow, what a great question. And I even had some prep time, and I can't come up with a great answer. Okay, so in my current role, I'm a programmer. We're a team of programmers. We work closely with the statisticians, which we all kind of work on the same projects, but different departments, right? And so kind of what I said about, leading the team with different people, different personalities, and those types of things. When I came into this role at my current position now, it felt like everyone were just doing the process, but it could have been done more efficiently. And I kind of came in and say, like, hey, let's work better together. And I think we'll both be benefit from this. And so I actually kind of started to lead the initiative on our two departments working better together, and instilling some processes there. So I think it came from, that leadership. And if you see something that could be done better, do it better, or at least try to make it better.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
It's a classic answer of you taking something that you was instilled into you and you practiced all the time, and then just applying it in another setting? It's a perfect example of a very good question.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah. So, Sam, is there anything that, like, you're going to Dickinson, you then go to grad school, you move to Boston. Is there anything that your team is still pretty close? Do you guys stream games? Do you watch them? Or is it like, not everybody does it? I was just curious. Do you guys still do things together outside of Alumni Hoops Weekend?
I think not. Yeah, not as like a whole group. Since graduating, there have been some weddings where the team would be invited and we'd go there. But no, we really do use the weekend to see each other. I mean, I see Mary and Helen. I talk to them mostly. So like throughout the year. But no, we really do try to come back Alumni Hoops Weekend and, remember to tell the same stories we do every year in the G-Man. But I don't know why it's so fun, but it really is. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't either. I agree with you. It just is. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So
Well, last year I sat with you and Mary and Helen on Saturday night at the G-Man for hours, and that was fun, right?
We could tell you our stories. They're new to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to hear them again this year because I love, and that's a great Helen Roberts and a great Mary Martin. Like we just are, just some of our favorites. You guys are some of our favorites because you guys you've done so much with us for this alumni group, and it means a lot to all three of us. It really does, and so Ziggy, you got any other good ones for?
No, this has been great. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been awesome. I could talk to you guys all night.
You're the best.
We'll do it at G-Man.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, Ziggy, I know I say this every time, but I don't care. She was great. I don't care. She's great. I love Sam.
That was fun. I mean, I'm enjoying all of these, so I'm gonna keep saying it. Right? I mean, that was just great.
I know.
I mean, we're big fans. We're big fans of Sam Kennedy. We've known her now for 7 or 8 years. We work with her on the board of FRDB. She does so much for the organization, and she's just cool to hang out with too. So we just got to hang out with her for an hour. It was fun.
Yeah. Conflict of interest alert. We're totally in the bag for Sam Kennedy. I mean, just totally in the bag for Sam Kennedy. So, Ziggy, one of the things I'm fascinated about sometimes are people like her who are very shy. She's a very sort of quiet, shy person, and yet she's a natural leader. And I'm always interested in hearing how people end up leading, because Sam Kennedy doesn't walk into a room and go, oh, well, there's clearly the leader. That's not her personality, but she's clearly a leader, and just even more impressed with her.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my takeaways, right? Yet another example of a 3-year captain, right? That really says something about someone if they are named a captain their sophomore year, right? I mean, you just think about that, right? In the fall of your sophomore year, you're asked to lead the team. That's pretty special. I also really liked how she described her leadership, right? She said she's more effective one-on-one. And as a captain, that can be very effective, right? Sure, you can get up in the middle of the locker room or pull the team aside and say some things, but the one-on-one relationship building is important as well. And I'm betting that's what she was really good at.
And that's one of the things I wrote down. She's so humble. Like, she's so filled with humility. I'll bet she's really good at it, though.
Yeah.
And that's so imperative in small groups like basketball teams. And I'm not surprised. And we know how close she is with her group. And we see it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm an enthusiastic supporter of what the women have brought to this alumni hoops program. and we don't even really call them just like hopesters.
Yep.
But she is at the epicenter of what I think is so great about that group being involved with us, all as one big team, frankly. You know what was nice, too, Ziggy? It was nice that New Jersey showed up. I mean, that was really nice because we've been doing a lot of Mid-Penn and a lot of Northeast Pennsylvania and Williamsport.
Yeah.
It was nice New Jersey decided to stick their head into the podcast. And
it's good to have representation.
Yeah.
The other thing you mentioned, Humble, I just want to follow up on that, right? Because these are the stories that you hear about, and then I enjoy hearing it, the G-Man, et cetera. But, like, she said, I didn't start playing basketball until in 7th grade, and that's because I was a soccer player and all my soccer friends are playing, right? But then fast forward 3 years, and she's starting for a very good high school program, right? It just shows you the level of athlete she was, right? But she could have led with that. She could have led with that in this podcast. She could have led with that the first time I met her. Like, I'm a 3-year high school starter. I started as a sophomore at Chatham. She never heard that story, right? But so she's humble. She's talented. She was a good player, a great leader. Yeah, she's an asset wherever she is.
Yeah, we had to get that out of her.
Yeah.
Because there was no way she was going to volunteer any of that. And that's why she's a good leader. So I can't wait, Ziggy. I know you love these things. I love these interviews. I hope we can get her teammates, her buddies, her friends on this too. And I know we will, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Let's do a plug right here. Alumni Hoops Weekend, February 20th, 21st. Do I have the dates right? I think I do.
That's right.
So less than a month. And we're trying to hit 100 people, but most importantly, we want you there. Whoever the you are, we want you there.
Come back.
Yeah, come back. Grab a teammate, come back. Yep. And we promise we will ensure that you have fun, or Ziegler promises to give you all your money back.
Exactly. 100%. All right, Cope. Until next time.
All right, Ziggy. Good to see you, buddy.
See you, Cope.
Thanks.